how marginalized communities could be integrated?
So I think this is a really good question. And it really reflects the question of who makes the decisions, who gets to do the planning, and not just who's at the table, but who has a voice within the table. So we need to look at government, and we need to look at planning committees. We need to look at who's running the banks, who's running the big corporations, to see whose voices are represented. And when we look at these, when we look at who's in the room, who's at the table, who's speaking. So sometimes you can have women or other marginalized groups represented in these spaces, but maybe they're not being heard. Maybe they don't have the power to set the agenda, to drive what's important in some of these responses. So we need to make sure we have mechanisms and spaces in which all voices can be heard. If we think just as one example of the conference of parties that come together to discuss climate change, then we think, where are the indigenous voices? Where are the women? Where are the youth? Where are the people with different abilities? Where are the different ethnic groups? How are the ways in which people are being represented following through as we go up the levels of hierarchy? So when we think about how do we integrate marginalized groups, our first question is power. Who has the power? And how do we start to share that power? And what mechanisms can we look at? And I think it's important we think about this in every aspect of life, in our community groups, in our book groups, in our classroom. Who's there? Who's speaking? More importantly, who's not there?